Now, I would like the board's opinion on this, and it's important, is whether we make a motion tonight, either to the council, either to recommend to them the acceptance and approval of your proposed amendments or not. And I really want the opinions of the board of whether we make a decision tonight or whether we give the residents of the town more time to respond, now that many of them will have found what tonight was all about.
Chairman Navarre,
Please, I'm just asking.
you should know that those aren't your only two options as the chairman of the planning board. There is a third. And as you started saying in your statement at the very beginning, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, but what you said was that you would be in support and in favor of a redevelopment of that property if it did not exceed the residential height that is currently in the code.
If it met all other requirements, if it was considered on a site plan to be in the best interest of the town, and one of the other things that is not addressed here that will be addressed in a site plan, talking about 99 units, there's no indication what size those units would be, whether they would be one room with a bathroom, whether they would be suites. In the 2007 application, you had plans that showed the layout of each room on each floor, whether floors taken up by a gym, a spa.
So what you're saying, Chairman Navarre, is that you don't want to accept this application because it doesn't include a site plan application?
No, I'm not saying, no, I am not saying that. I'm saying that this is not even an application to build anything. This is an application to change our comp plan, which was discussed in revision for 2 to 3 years from 2006 on at great length, and changes were made, and there were several meetings, and there's a long to and fro going back to the state on this. It was a complicated business, and we arrived finally at a revised comp plan. Now suddenly these things come up to change it. What I see this is to pass this, to amend the comp plan before we have any indication of exactly what is proposed, is like opening a door with no idea what might come through it. But I really want the board members to give me their opinions on whether we should make any recommendation tonight, or if we should have a meeting in mid to late January and give people more chance to respond. And I really want the board's opinion on this.
And I might add that you'd also have a response statement, which Mr. Paloka has always maintained that your response statement, which you voted on last time, was to provide everything to the council, and that was indeed your response statement. But if you were going to develop a response statement that would be more like an executive summary in a page or two, that would be something that is contemplated, at least under your comp plan. The other thing about this, once again, this is a legislative decision. It's your body thinking about, is this good for the town? It's also going to be the town council thinking about that. It is then just a fairly debatable standard, and that's what it is. Right now, we're not in a quasi-judicial hearing. You've just been chosen to think about what you think is good for the town. So if from a simplistic standard, that's, Ms. Schulmeyer was kind of stating in a simplistic way that, you know, she thinks this is good for the town. And that's something else you all can say, regardless of what's in here, you know, based upon it, but that's something you're thinking about based upon these texts.
Mr. Biggs, I think Chairman Navarre gave the impression that somehow the application that's before the board tonight isn't legally sufficient.
No, I'm not saying the application is not legally efficient. I'm just saying
we've included in the application everything that we are required to by law, and we've actually included more than is typically found in an application for such comprehensive text plan amendment changes.
And,
Is that
and
the
to that
case?
end, that was what was decided last year on behalf of your attorney in speaking with us, is to put things that would not normally put into a comp plan because you've developed an envelope, so to speak, of what could be there. Let me continue. But the idea is that even after that, last year we were gonna say, we have to change the zoning code, because right now, we couldn't write something about a commercial hotel, because we don't have that as a use. Then we could go into our zoning code and we could write standards about that. So that was a contemplated step if you were going to go on and it had gone on and got approved. The next step would have been to develop a zoning code about it and to talk about it. Right now, we can't really talk about it because it's a non-conforming use.
Right. Right, please, I would like to address this issue of the public participation. And I would like each of you to give me your opinions. No opinion?
Oh, we're opinionated.
Right, okay.
Are we not?
All right, I'll give everybody else something to talk about. I'll make the first opinion out here. One thing is that, for the second time, I'll respectfully disagree with you, Mr. Chairman. I don't, I think that we should not be discounting our citizens or anybody else by saying that after enormous, hundreds and hundreds of man-hours that have been devoted to discussing comp plans and this project across the street, a potential project or changes or anything else, that they don't know enough. I mean, this is not the nanny state. We've given it, the staff made the best effort they can in a standard, traditional way to get information out there. Those that could make it tonight, made it tonight. Those that chose not to, I'm sure there's plenty of people that are gonna get the word out to them. I've listened to political speeches up here tonight, for God's sakes. They're gonna get the word. You know it and I know it, so does everybody at this table. So why not carry out our duty and, take a stand or make a decision? Because I think these applicants need to either know that they have to take a new track or know that they're on track or something. But to keep them hanging around and strung out like this, I just think is not a fair, honorable thing to do. So my position is that we entertain and discuss a motion to take a vote on this evening.
I would agree with Mr. Mead, and I think actually the applicant stated it today when they stood up and said the application's been in place for 44 days. I don't believe this board had it for 44 days because the fee wasn't paid until a couple weeks ago, and that's when the clock started running, and we did not receive anything until that was actually done. So, but he said it's been 44 days, I think that town, excuse me, I'm not speaking to you.
The fee was,
Let
the
the
fee was
board
paid
members
within
speak.
2 or 3 days of submitting the application. And the reason why it wasn't submitted with the application is because the town clerk didn't know what the application fee was.
That's not true. And
I
so
have
my
email
point is,
correspondence.
the comment,
Peter,
my point is
Peter, let the board.
that I believe that the staff and the town has done what was necessary to make sure that the public was informed that this hearing was happening. And therefore, people have had an opportunity, plenty of opportunity to weigh in on it, and I agree with Mr. Mead.
Pat, on the right.
This guy. I'm neutral in this because I'm prepared to vote on it tonight, or I'm prepared that when I come back in January, to hold it off. I think the town is here, pretty much, but we haven't, for the first time, we haven't had a lot of comments, and this is quite different from what we're used to. So I'm totally neutral on this.
Pat, on my left.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, just from my own building alone, if they saw the notice that they were, a lot of them, were talking, a lot of them didn't, but just because they talk and they could be in favor or disfavor, they don't all come to, the meetings, so that's neither here nor there. No, I think that we should, decide whether this is gonna go further instead of, putting off till the end of January, because most people that are here are, that most snowbirds that are coming are here, and they had an opportunity to come and voice their opinions, so.
All right, so does someone want to make a motion?
We're making a motion to
Wait.
recommend that the application go forward to the town council with either our support of it or our non-support of it? Is that what we're,
Correct,
that's the motion?
because you're the recommending body.
We're just,
That's
it's
all you're
either,
doing.
the motion is to recommend or not recommend, correct?
Exactly as is.
Mr. Biggs, actually, that's not true.
Okay,
The planning board members can make a recommendation with modifications.
they certainly could.
If any one of them feels that they would support something other than what has been presented to them, they can make a motion for that. Now, Member Festino mentioned earlier that she would be in support of something, but didn't specify.
Yeah, I did.
And
I absolutely
uh,
did. Excuse me.
would you clarify then what you would be support of?
You want to hear it again, guys?
Because a motion,
It's on the record.
a motion can be made for what you want. It doesn't have to be a no. And Chairman Navarre did the same.
Can I make a motion, Mr. Chairman?
Please, feel free.
I'd like to move that we recommend the changes, but under any circumstances, regardless of the vote here tonight, that there be a minority report if necessary.
They can always be a minority.
Well, I just want to make sure that they get there together, or majority report. We have something to vote on.
Fine.
I'll second that. Okay.
So what's your motion?
I didn't, I seconded his. He made a motion.
Oh, sorry, you made a motion.
He made a motion to approve.
Motion to
Recommend.
recommend.
To recommend.
I'm not approving it.
Recommend. Recommend, my mistake, correct.
You're making a.
Motion to
motion
recommend
to the council.
to the council,
These amendments, this application.
the application, and to be, if desired, to have a minority report.